Hello. This is the CorelDRAW tutorials. Um, and this we're continuing on the tools and their uses. This is the part two. Take a minute to subscribe to the channel and also like the video. So we're talking about tools and their uses, and this is the part two. And we were talking about the line tools and then using the line tools, especially in tracing and cutting out background of images. We spoke concerning we spoke concerning the 2 points line tool, the freehand line tool. We also spoke about the B spline and the 3 point curve. Today we're going to be talking about the Bezier, the pen, and then the polyline tool. The Bezier, the pen, and the polyline tool. I'll quickly go over what we did last week for the sake of those who are new on the channel. So last week we spoke about the two line, the freehand tool, and I said the freehand tool is found in the toolbox and is the tool that mostly is displayed on the toolbox. The shortcut key for the freehand tool is F5, the function key 5. Now the freehand tool allows you to do freehand sketches without accuracies, if I should put it that way. It is the best tool, especially when you're using um, the Wacom tab or any drawing tablet that you have. It is obviously will not give you the best of experience if you are using a mouse to draw, but then it will give you a great experience on the Wacom tab. Now, if you are more of a professional, you can manage to use a mouse to draw when using the freehand tool. We said the freehand tool um, like I'm doing, okay, allows you to do all freehand sketches just like all the other line tools. We also made mention that whenever a tool is selected, the property of the tool appears on the property bar. So here you have the line that I've drawn showing its property on the property bar, and the tool also showing its properties on the property bar. We also went over the fact that whenever you're using the line tool to be able to form a shape that can take up color, you have to make sure that you end your drawing where it started. So the drawing goes in the form of a circle, it ends where it started, in order to be able to apply, in order to be able to apply color to your. So for instance, if you want to apply color to an object that you're drawing with a freehand tool or any of the line tools, um, kindly observe what I'm doing. Now, when this is done, without the point ending where it began, you wouldn't be able to apply color to your object. But then if I should, so as I'm doing, I'm now trying to apply color, but then the color is not being applied to the object. But then if I should end the shape where it started, or if I should end the line where it started, you realize that the color is applied to the object. So that applies to all the other line tools. Okay. So remember that when you're using the line tools in drawing shapes or in drawing curves, you have to make sure that you end the line where it started in order to be able to form a shape that can take a color. If not, um, you have to thicken the line. That is, if you are working with lines and you're not working with shapes, you have to thicken the line. Okay, for instance, I've thickened my line by increasing the size of the line, and then convert the line to object. So in converting the line to object, you go to your object, okay, and you go to convert to object. All right, before you can actually apply color to the line. So that applies to all the other line tools. Now, we also spoke concerning the we also spoke concerning the 2 point line two. So we said this is a 2 point line two. And then we spoke about the 3 point curve. Now there is a difference. There is a line two, so it gives you actually lines. Okay, it doesn't make much of curves. That is what it actually does. Okay, it gives you a lot of lines but fewer curves. But then when we're talking about the 3 point curve two, which so we have the 2 point line, we have the 3 point curve. So we're talking about the 3 point curve two. Okay, is a tool that actually can give you curves. So if you're working on a piece of work or artwork which involves dealing with curves and not much of lines, the best line tool to use is the 3 point curve tool, and you can use that to draw your curves. Okay, that also when you end where you started, you can apply color. But then if you are working with an object or a piece of artwork that deals much more with straight lines, then um the best tool to use is either the 2 point line tool or the freehand tool. And then we also spoke we also spoke concerning the B spline tool. We said the B spline tool is more or less like a combination of the 2 point line tool and the 3 point curve tool. The B spline tool actually helps you to create um, to do your tracing faster than normal. Okay, and it initiates the curves by itself, right? So if you don't want to go through the stress of doing the curves and etc., and then you want to have a bit of ease whilst working on probably a logo or something, okay, the best tool to use is the B spline tool. I'm just going over what we did um, the last time. So today we'll be going over the Bezier, the Bezier, the Bezier, the Bezier tool. All right. I mentioned the word 3 times so that you get the pronunciation right. So we're going to go over the Bezier tool, the pen tool, and then we're also going to look at the polyline tool. So we're going to look at these three tools also today. They also form part of the line tools, and they have their differences, but their differences are not really that much. Okay, actually, each and every line tool is closer to the other. The difference might be how simple one works from the other, or how easy one helps you to work on on different pieces of works. Okay, so we're going to start with the Bezier tool. We're going to start with the Bezier tool. A few things that you have to note down when it comes to the Bezier tool. If you have a pen and a piece of paper, you can write these down. A few things that you have to note down on the Bezier tool. If you have a question, you can raise your hand and I'll ask you the question. So a few things you have to know about the Bezier tool. Sorry. The first thing you have to know about the the first thing that you have to know concerning the Bezier tool, if you're ready, then I guess I can go ahead. Okay. The first thing you have to know about the Bezier tool is that it is used to add or delete notes. All right, it is used to add or delete notes. So just like the shape tool, the Bezier tool can actually use to add or delete notes. um I'll do a section on the shape too, so that um it helps you understand the Bezier tool more, because the Bezier tool is um a lot more associated to the shape tool, because it deals with notes, nodes. So it's used to add or delete notes. Another thing that the Bezier tool also helps you do is it's used to break notes apart. It's used to convert note to a curve, convert note to symmetrical curves. Okay, it's also used to join two notes together to convert um, the notes, okay, into lines. I'll be demonstrating that very soon. It's used to stretch or scale notes, align notes, extract subpart. It's used to close curves, reserve curve direction, extend curve to close, to rotate or skew notes, to reflect notes vertically, select all notes, or elastic, or make note elastic. So these are a few properties of the Bezier tools. Okay, and these properties actually show up on the property bar um, when the Bezier tool is activated. These properties actually show on the property bar when the Bezier tool is activated. All right, so I'm going to explain all the properties I've said in just one illustration. Okay, because basically all that I've said through about the properties of the Bezier tool can be done in one illustration. So when you go to your toolbox, okay, follow where my mouse pointer is. When you go to your toolbox, all right, the feed tool is the free hand tool. Now, on the when you look at the free hand tool, which is the feed tool on the toolbox, okay, there is a little arrow there. When you click on it, you find a pop-up menu that lists out all the line tools. Now, the Bezier tool is one of the line tools, so you click on that to select it. After doing so, now, unlike all the other line tools, the Bezier tool, okay, also makes tracing easier for those who are more into um, copying logos or doing duplicates of logos and other things. Okay, it helps ease the tension, because it actually helps you initiate curves easily. That is an example of what I have done. Now, with the Bezier tool, you can have straight lines and you can have curved lines, and it all comes to the movement of the mouse and then the clicks. So, for instance, if I want to get a straight line, I'll click anywhere on my screen just once, and then to where I want the line to extend to, I'll click again. Now, the Bezier tool does not show you the line being drawn, actually, because it works with notes. Now, these are the notes, okay? The four tick notes, the three tick notes, okay, at each end of the line actually is the angle note, okay? It allows you to enlarge or reduce the size of your object or of your line. But then the note that I'm talking about is not the angle note. The small note over there, okay? You realize that there is a small note here beside the angle note. This is an angle note, the black, but then the white one is a note I'm talking about, okay? So the Bezier tool works with notes. So it does not show you the line being drawn. It only shows you the line that has already the line after it has been drawn. Let me quite explain this in an illustration. Now, let's pick the 2.2. If I should click and drag, you see the line being drawn. That is what the Bezier tool does not do. Okay, it does not show you the line being drawn. So instead of showing me that I'm drawing a straight line or I'm drawing a curved line, the Bezier tool doesn't do that, because it deals with knots. It deals with drawing in knots. Okay, so you have to be a bit of um, a brainiac, let me put it that way, but it's not really a difficult tool to use. Okay, it's more intellectual. So for instance, using the Bezier tool, if I should click on one spot, okay, if I want a straight line and click on another, it forms a straight line for me. But then this line is not very accurate you have um if you are really looking close to what I'm doing. This line that I've drawn is not accurate. Okay, that is just by the way. Now, you can also form curves with the Bezier tool, and you can do so by clicking. Okay, now if you want to form a curve with the Bezier tool, what you do is you click and then you drag to form a curve. Let me wipe the screen so that you get it quite right. If you want to form a curve with the Bezier tool, okay, if you want to form a curve with the Bezier tool, you click, drag, okay, and then your curve is formed. All right. So perhaps I'm forming a series of curves. Okay, I'm going to do that using um I'm going to try to do that, okay, tracing an object, and you see how it goes. Using the Bezier tool, if I want to form a curve, when I click, okay, when I click and drag, okay, because it works with note uses arrows, okay. The extension of the arrow actually um shows you the extension of the curve that you are drawing. So whenever you are using knots, okay, and you see these arrows, I can use these arrows, okay, to extend the curve anyhow I want it. Okay, so the arrows actually helps you to do your extensions, whether it's a straight line, the curve. That is what the arrow actually helps you to. Okay, so that is what the arrow actually helps you to do. Kindly mute your audio, okay, so that we don't get the feedback. If you have any question also during the tutorial, you can raise a hand. Okay, there is a hand section that you can raise, and I would put you on board to ask your question so that it will be addressed. So when using the Bezier tool to draw curves, okay, that is how you are able to draw a curves. You click, hold, and drag. You click, hold, and drag. So this is a continuous line. Now, I already told you that the Bezier tool deals with notes. Please don't get confused, okay? I already told you that the Bezier tool, okay, deals with notes. It does not deal with straight continuous lines. It deals with notes. And in order for you to appreciate the tool, okay, you have to first of all appreciate the notes that the Bezier tool is working with. So if you are not very much conversant with unseen lines until they are drawn, then um I would say the Bezier tool is not the best tool. Okay, it's not the best tool to work with. It's not the best tool to work with. All right, but then if you are if you are if you are if you appreciate more of the notes, all right, then the Bezier tool is obviously the best tool to work with. So to form a curve, like I said, you only click and drag to form your curve. And I personally feel this tool is easier to use than all the other line tools because it gives you accuracy. It gives you a lot of accuracy when you are working. Perhaps you are copying a logo or something, or you are duplicating somebody's work for him. It gives you a lot of accuracy. So it's best to practice with the Bezier tool, okay, and have a feel of it and how it actually works. I'm going to do a few tutorials um, using object, okay, copying logos and other things, okay, and particularly using the Bezier tool in doing that, so that you can also follow to perfect the skill. The second two that we're going to, so that is it basically. All the properties I stated concerning the Bezier tool, okay, that is it actually. That is what I have demonstrated here basically. All right. The next two we'll be talking about is the pen tool. The pen tool works almost the same as the Bezier tool, but this time it for the pen tool it shows you the lines whilst drawing it. Unlike the Bezier tool, which does not show you that you are drawing a line, okay, the pen tool actually shows you the line you are drawing. Now, when you are using the pen tool, all right, the only thing that you have to be very much aware of is to click the first time, okay, and then your line has already been started, okay. If you want to end your line, you double click where you want to end, and then the line ends. If you are beginning a line, let's go over it again. If you are beginning a line, you just click on where you are starting your line, okay, and then continue from there, okay, continue from there. Whenever you get to a point where you feel you need a curve, what you have to do is when you click, okay, do not release your hand, okay, and then you drag, and then you realize that the curve has been initiated, okay. When you click, do not release your hand, then you drag. Click, drag before you release your hand. Click, drag before you release your hand. Okay, to initiate all the curves that you want in your work. Okay, and that is it for the pen tool. So basically, the pen tool and the Bezier tool shares almost equal, all right, almost equal properties. The only thing with the Bezier tool is you don't see the lines being drawn, you only see the knots being created, okay, and then the line comes to life. Okay, so for instance, if I want to draw a curve and I click and I drag, that is the only time I see that the curve is being created. But aside that, if I should click, the line continues, I don't see the line being drawn. Unlike the pen tool, okay, so if I want to end my line, I'll just double click where I want to end the line, and that is it, okay. But then for the pen tool, I actually see the line being drawn, okay. All right, then we go to the polyline tool. The polyline tool, um the polyline tool works almost the same also as the Bezier and the pen tool. So like I said, there are no there are no huge differences in the line tools. Now, what the polyline tool actually does, it does a combination of the freehand tool and then the Bezier tool, if I should put it that way. So for instance, I can start, sorry, it has a combination of the freehand tool and the pen tool. So for instance, if I start a line, okay, all I have to do is to click and then release my hand, and then the line has started. Now, as I drag, okay, wherever I want to my line to be extended to, okay, it actually extends. All right. But then the reason why I say is a combination of the pen tool, because this is the exact same feature the pen tool does. Okay, the pen tool shows us the line, and it only takes a click to start the line and continue till I end. and it's only when I end that I have the opportunity to double click, okay, or perhaps I end at the same spot I started to end the line. Now, the reason why I say is a combination of the pen tool and the freehand tool is because now the freehand tool gives you an option of doing freehand sketches, and that is exactly what the polyline tool also does. But then after doing the freehand sketches, it does not end the line, because with the freehand tool, when I click, all right, I can also do the freehand sketches. But when I click and release my hand, all right, the line ends. After drawing my line, okay, if I should click and release my hand, the line ends. But then the polyline tool doesn't do that. The polyline tool allows me to continue my work till I end. Okay, so that is the difference between the polyline tool and the freeline tool. Now take your time to go over the video severally to get the concept, because for the first time you might think it's a whole lot, but it's actually something very simple. Okay, so you can watch the video perhaps almost every time you're free if you have nothing doing at all to grasp the concept very well. Okay, all right, so that is it for the polyline 2. Okay, so I'm just going to add the smart draw 2. Okay, then we are done with the line. Then I'm going to do um other tutorials on how to use the line, okay, to draw some logos and other things. Okay, already there's a challenge that has been thrown out, so you can implement any of the line tools. In doing so, be creative. All right, so the last tool in the line tool is the smart draw or the smart drawing tool. Okay, you can activate that by going to the freehand tool pop-up menu and clicking on um, the smart drawing tool, or you use the okay, or you use the shortcut shift plus S to activate the smart drawing tool. Now the smart drawing tool behaves like a pencil, okay, just like using a pencil to draw. All right, that is how the smart drawing tool behaves. But with the smart drawing tool, now from the beginning when we started CorelDRAW, we said is is the simplest definition that you can ever find for CorelDRAW is the replacement of using pencils and paper to draw. And that is what the smart drawing tool actually gives you. It gives you that kind of experience. All right. So then when you look at what has been done, okay, for instance, when you are drawing on a piece of paper, every single mark you make, all right, forms part of the paper unless you erase. And that is what the smart drawing tool does. Now, when you start drawing, okay, it takes note of everything you are doing. Immediately you end drawing, everything that you've done becomes a whole. Okay, so for instance, you have your Wacom tab, you want to do some um some sketches and other things. You can actually use the smart drawing tool. Okay, and it will save you the time of completing your sketches and trying to join parts in order to add color, because the smart drawing to actually joins everything at once for you. It gives you a pen or a pencil and a paper feel of kind of drawing. Okay, so you can actually not separate 50%. You can actually not separate anything, okay, unless you use the shape tool, okay, because everything there becomes a whole and becomes more or less like a shape. So that is it for the smart drawing tool. So the part two of this tutorials is quite short, But then that is all concerning the line 2 that we have. Before we end this section on line 2s, we're going to do something. Okay, we're going to try to do something um with the line 2, any of the line 2s of your choice. Okay, so on your own, pick any of the line 2s that you have. Do something creative. I'm not going to give you anything to do. Do something creative by yourself, okay, with any of the line 2s that perhaps might interest you. Do something creative with it. You can draw a logo, you can do a human sketch of it. Whatever thing that you want to do with the line, do something creative with it. After that, you put your name underneath as usual, and then you forward to the WhatsApp platform. The tomorrow, next week, today is Friday. So next week, what we actually going to be working with is we're going to be working with the object tools. All right, we're going to be working with the object tools next week. That is the square, the triangles, the octagons, and other things. All right, but then this is the weekend challenge. This is the weekend challenge. All right, this is the challenge for the weekend. Now, I said do anything that you want to do with the line two. I'm going to try to do something with the line two here so that you observe. So I'm going to try to create a background, okay, and put in text. I'm going to try to create a backdrop and then put in text. All right. So first of all, I'm going to go to the line two and try to use any of the lines. I'll choose the 2 points line because I want to draw straight lines. Okay, I'm going to try to draw um, a square. Okay,
This week,
the
this week.
line two. So if you are wondering how I'm getting straight lines, okay, it's because whenever I draw the line, my hand is on the control key on the keyboard. So when I click, okay, I put my hand on the control key. I do not release my hand till I'm done drawing, okay, to get a straight line. And since my line is not straight, I'm going to show you a trick here. Whenever you are drawing a line, okay, and it seems like your line has not ended, all right, the easiest way to find out where you started your line, if you are unable to identify it, go to the property bar. All right, now on the property bar, follow where my mouse pointer is. There's a tool there that is the close curve tool. It is used to join points or notes together. Okay, so if I should click on that, you realize that there is a little change that has occurred here. If I click on it, okay, let me show you how it was. This was how it was from before. So if I should click on it, it joins my curve for me without going through the stress. All right, okay. Now, after drawing my rectangle, okay, or let's say a square, more or less like a square, I'm just going to add some color to the background. I was able to add color because the my line ended where it started. My line ended where it started, or I managed to close the curves. That's why I was able to add color. Now, if you are done drawing an object and you are applying color, yet still you seem not to be seeing the color in your work, it is because your line has not ended where it started. Okay, so for instance, if I do this, my line did not end where it started. So if I apply color, you wouldn't see the color. But immediately I continue with the line and end it where it started, you will see the color. Okay, all right. So after doing that, we're going to go a bit into the transparency too. Okay, so I'm going to select my object by clicking on it. Go to the toolbox. All right, this is the transparency tool. Okay, I'm going to click on it once. Okay, and I'm going to create a transparency, okay, from beneath my line. Okay, so note wherever you have the shaded portion, that is where the transparency is going to occur. So if the shaded portion is on top, the transparency is going to go on top. All right, so I'm applying a bit of transparency to the piece of work. All right, after doing that, I'm going to put in some text. Okay, I'm going to call it um CorelDRAW tutorial class. Okay, so I'll go to the text to click on it once. Okay, come to any part of the drawing window and click. Okay, and I'll have okay a pointer or a cursor which is blinking. That shows me that the text tool is active and I can now type. So I'm going to type Coral Draw Draw Tutorial class. Do anything you want to do. Okay, okay. So I use the angle notch to increase the size of my work. I realized somebody was asking me a question that he was trying to apply color to the emoji, the background of the emoji, and it covered the work. Okay, he wasn't seeing the eyes or something. Now, this was what happened to the person's work. Now, the eyes went behind the emoji. When this happens, click on the object, okay, that is in front, or on the object that seems to have overshadowed the other object, and use the shortcut key Control plus Home. Okay, this is Control plus End on the keyboard. Okay, it will push whatever thing that is in front behind, or you can right click. Okay, go to Order and you go to Back Page. Now this is already at the back page, so you realize that the back page section is not um highlighted. But then if I should select front page, you realize that the object comes in front. Right, if I should select the back page, the object goes behind. Okay, so that is to rectify um what the person said. So after doing this, I'll change the font to um, my favorite font. All right, I'm just going to center my work, okay, on the property bar, just like you do in the Microsoft window, um Microsoft Word, sorry, Microsoft Word or Office. Okay, I'll just have to center my work because I want it to be that way. Okay, and I want the Corel Draw to be closer to the tutorial class. I want to eliminate the space in between. So I'm going to use the shape tool to do that. So I'm going to go to the toolbox. Immediately beneath the pick tool is a shape tool. So I'm going to click on it. When I click on it, okay, I can now um, close this shape here. Now I can do so by using this arrow, all right? This arrow showing here, okay? The arrow with the three lines on top. Okay, when I click on that, all right, I can move the tutorial class any spot where I want it to be. All right, so I'll just move it closer to the Corel Draw to eliminate the space there, but I'll leave a little bit of space in there. All right, okay. Now, if I want the spaces in between also eliminated, I can use the arrow that is beside it. So the one pointing down allows you, okay, to change the gap in between, all right, vertically. And then the one pointing horizontal allows you to close the gap, okay, horizontally. So I can do this, or I can extend that. All right. So I'm just going to have to do it that way. Okay. I'm going to change the color to white. Okay. So Corel tutorial class. Now I'm going to duplicate the square that I've drawn. So Control plus C, or right click and then copy. Okay. Or use the plus key on the keyboard and then paste. All right. Now, when I paste, it covers the entire work. So I'm going to change the color so that you see what is going on to a black color. Okay, after changing the color to black, I'm going to turn, okay, the current or the black rectangle. Okay, I'm going to turn it upside down. So I'll go to the property bar and go to rotate. Okay, there is the mirror horizontal rotation, and then there's the mirror vertical rotation. So I want the deep side to come beneath, and then the the shaded side or the transparent side to go on top. So I'm going to use the vertical one. Okay. Now when I do this, you realize that this is what I have now. All right. I'm going to reduce the transparency of the work. Okay, I'm just going to reduce the transparency a little bit. Okay. When you are done with the transparency, all right, to reduce or increase the transparency, you realize that there is a thin line, okay, that is in the middle of the arrow. All right. So and I bring it down, it reduces the transparency. When I bring it up, it makes it more deep. After that, after that, I would send this particular image behind. All right. So Control plus End. So I've sent the black to the background of the work that I'm actually working on now. Okay. After doing that, I'm going to add one more text and name it um, tools and their users, part 2. Okay. I'm just going to bring the Corel down a bit to the lower side. So that's when you try to draw a line in between it, separating both of them. Okay. Increase the thickness of the line. We've done that in other tutorials, so you can go to the page and then look at how that was done. I'm going to change the color of the line that I've drawn in between. Okay, so I'm going to go to object properties and then change the line to a yellow color, or let's say white. Let me do everything white. Right. So I'm actually working on a cover for the video, okay, when I upload to YouTube, for those who are not able to join us. Okay, so this is how I want the cover to be. Okay, that is how I want the cover to be. Okay, that is how I want the cover for this particular video to be. So you can go online, all right, perhaps you have something you want to do. Okay, do something creative and you can post it on the page. All right. So that is it for today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, right? And also like the video. Okay. If perhaps you have any question, you can post it in the comment section and it will be addressed, or a tutorial will be done on that for you to be able to know how it is used. So that is it for today.